Guys, we are almost at the end. This is Sports Moods. 2 Moodies.
1 duty.
Sports. Let's go. This is
D Moody,
and we are back. We've been talking about everything from the fight Saturday between Floyd and Conor. We've been at WWE. We done got on Kyrie's trade, a little bit of extra on NBA. We just recently finished talking about what's been going on preseason as far as Ezekiel, Matthew Stafford, and we're going to try to end this one talking about our teams and Super Bowl predictions for this season. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, my team, it's a reason. It's a reason why this is my team. Derek's already laughing at me. But my team is the LA Rams. I'm so glad I don't have an effect to show any booing or laughing things on it. You can't find it. But yeah, there's a purpose. Now, when I was growing up, I really, growing up with my mom and grandma, I didn't really watch sports that often. But when I fell into it on my own, it was The Greatest Show on Turf. It was Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk, which my favorite player of all time is Marshall Faulk. I always wanted to be a running back. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, both all Hall of Famers. Let's just admit that. But yeah, ever since that though, ever since the Patriots cheated our last chance at a Super Bowl, we've been downhill. So that's my team. That's my team, and I think this is a perfect segment into letting D explain his team.
Well, if you can kind of feel like the little jabs he threw at me with the shade with the Patriots cheating, one would assume I am a Patriots fan. With me with the Patriots, a lot of people say, "Oh, you bandwagon fan." I didn't really get into the NFL until my 6th, 7th grade year, in school. So I really wasn't into sports. I was more the guy to watch cartoons or whatever after school, Dragon Ball Z, whatever was big at the time. So when I started watching football, it really got me into football. I was playing Madden, but also just watching it on TV at the time, I think the first ever Super Bowl I can remember watching in its entirety was the Rams versus the Titans Super Bowl. And that was one of the better Super Bowls that I've ever seen, matter of fact, for all the ones the Patriots were in. But you got to say the Patriots always put on an entertaining show in the Super Bowl. They put on a great show every time they make it, whether they win or lose. But with that game with the Rams, that was a really good football game. So that's when I really got into football. So then the following couple years, I was like, well, I'm just watching. I need to find a team to follow. And so at the time when I was watching this whole big thing with Drew Bledsoe going down, getting hurt, and this whole Tom Brady guy just pops out of nowhere. Who is this guy? And to say that Brady went to a big name school like Michigan, he still didn't have the big hype about him when he went in the draft. We all know the story. 6 other quarterbacks were taken before him in that draft. So I just started following the Patriots. I was like, okay, they're always talking about this on TV, so let me just follow this team, see what this team is about. And ever since then, from the snow game with the Raiders and the Tuck Rule game and just on through, that has just really been my team. And they have just really accomplished and achieved a lot with some scandals along with it. But that's my team. I'm a big Pats fan. CJ is a Rams fan. We won our first Super Bowl off them, but on that Greatest Show on Turf. But that's water under the bridge. But
let me explain why I feel like that game is cheating. That game between the Rams and the Patriots, because only reason is at the end of the game they won by the field goal, And once it hit the uprights and went through, there was 8 seconds left on the clock. If anybody watches it, go back and watch it. And they let the time run out from there. And it wasn't until after that season that they implemented that after the kick goes through the uprights, you stop the clock. Now, why would I be upset about 8 seconds? Anything can happen in 8 seconds. As you've seen with people who do kick returns for touchdowns, Hail Mary passes, I just wanted the chance. I felt like our kick returner, our punt returner, I think Alizar Hakeem, I think I'm saying it wrong, but something similar to that. He was a great returner. Maybe he could have went all the way. Maybe Kurt Warner could have launched one to Torrey or Isaac. Anything. I would have accepted the loss a lot better if we would have had that time that they allotted us. But I always remember watching the end of it, and I was like, how come they're not taking the time? How come they're not stopping the time? I just saw it after they kicked it, everybody just went on the field. It was over, and they just let the time run out. So that's my beef, and that's why ever since then I've hated the Patriots. But I must admit, because I'm a big fan of underdogs, and D brought it up about Tom Brady being like overpicked, and he was just a fill-in that became great. As much as I don't like him, which is solely because of the Patriots that I don't like in general, Tom Brady is an excellent quarterback. I won't call him the GOAT, even though statistics will say otherwise. I mean, I don't...
the GOAT edition, but okay.
I won't call him that. I can't call him that.
Why is that? Why?
Because I can't like the Patriots. You got to understand. I won't play with the Patriots on Madden, and I know that they're the highest rated team, but I won't. My body won't let me play with the Patriots.
Man, the big thing with me, man, with Tom Brady is that, like you said, his story, like, how he came into the league. He wasn't expected to be anything. And just over the years, how he's done so much with less. The only time I really can recall him really having a top tier receiver is when he had Randy Moss, and we saw what they did together. Even though they came like a few seconds away from having a perfect season. In every Super Bowl he's been to, like, win or lose. I mean, a lot of people say, well, he's not the greatest because he's lost a couple Super Bowls. And a lot of people say, well, Joe Montana won all his Super Bowls, but so did Troy Aikman, so did Eli Manning, so did, so many other quarterbacks who's been to 1 or 2 Super Bowls and won them. But, I mean, sometimes it comes down to whether it's wins or losses or, like, how many times you go. Like, the amount of trips they've had, 7 Super Bowl trips with the same coach, quarterback, duo, to go that many times with a lot of different types of teams with different talent. Because in the beginning, he didn't really have a lot. He had, Troy Brown and a lot of no-name receivers. And then, he's always elevated his game based off the talent he has around him. And that's one of the big reasons why I like Tom Brady. A lot of people feel like, oh, he's arrogant, they cheat, Bill Belichick, Spygate, Deflategate. Without the scandal and all that, I mean, nobody said anything about Jerry Rice using stickum on his gloves to catch footballs.
I feel like almost every receiver has some type of adhesive on their gloves.
Yeah, there's some kind of advantage. Everybody's going to have some type of advantage when it comes down to it. We look at some of the greatest stars in, like, baseball with the steroid era and stuff like that. But does that still take away, the things they were able to do?
Definitely.
That's just how I feel about it. But Patriots are my team.
And I also have to give it to Bill Belichick. I mean, now I will say that he is the greatest coach in NFL right now. And I saw it made me respect him even more last year. Was that the year that Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games? Mm-hmm. And who was y'all backup for those 4
Jimmy
games?
Jimmy Garoppolo, and then the backup got hurt, and the third string came in and
they still went 3-1.
3-1.
I'm pretty much confident that Bill Belichick can win.
But then you also even further back than that, when Brady got hurt that year, when they had Matt Castle, and they went 11-5. They didn't go to the playoffs. But, I mean, then that's where a lot of times I get in a big debate with a lot of my friends and stuff. They say, well, if Tom Brady's so great, how is other people able to come behind him in that system and still win? They feel like he's more of a system quarterback versus it's more of him than the actual system he's running. So a lot of people feel like it's more Belichick's scheme than it is Tom Brady. Tom Brady may be the best one to run it and take it further than other quarterbacks have, but you have had quarterbacks have success in that same system.
Yeah, if Tebow wants to come back in the NFL, he needs to go to the Patriots.
I mean, if he comes back, he doesn't need to be a quarterback. He needs to be like a fullback, tight end, some kind of
but Belichick can work
crazy play, wildcat offense type stuff.
I guess. All right, so now we are at the main thing that we want to talk about right now in this NFL segment. Super Bowl predictions. I feel as though the fact that he is a Patriots fan, his prediction is already set, but I'm still going to let him explain himself.
My Super Bowl 52 pick, which we all know the Super Bowl's in Minnesota this year, is in a dome. I am going to go with New England from the AFC to win the AFC. I think we may have a rematch between them and the Steelers AFC championship-wise. But I think they're going to get through again for the 8th time. And I think from the NFC side of things, I think it's going to be Green Bay.
Okay,
so I think we're going to have an Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady Super Bowl
shootout,
and I think it's going to be a classic. But New England still going, and I think they're going to get that 6th ring. And I think this is when this could be possibly the last year we see Tom Brady.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. I was going to think, if he wins it this year, do you think this will be Tom Brady saying that, hey, I've done enough, I can sit down now?
Yeah, I think he's going to. Even though he says he wants to play till he's like 45, I mean, it's only so long that before your mother nature starts to take over.
Right.
And like your body, father time is going to catch up with you. And I just think, why not go out on top when you can? And at that point, if Bill Belichick wins 6 Super Bowls, I think I respect Vince Lombardi, but I think you got to give him part of that trophy. His name needs to be on that trophy.
Okay, I respect that. All right, so for my Super Bowl pick, as much as I want to say the Rams, I'm going to be realistic. And by being realistic, I'm saying that the Rams will make it to the NFC Championship. That's as real as I'm going. I know it's a building process. Listen. If Todd Gurley, Sammy Watkins,
that's the key word,
Pharaoh Cooper, Tavon Austin, and Josh Reynolds, that's a nice wide receiver and running back. All we need to do is get our quarterback set. Yeah, I was about to say we need a quarterback. If we can get our quarterback set, or if we can really work on Jared Goff enough, because our defense has been good for the last few years, been pretty good, at least enough to hold its own.
Okay,
but that's where I'm going with the Rams. I'm gonna give them NFC this year. We'll talk about Super Bowl next year, but I'm gonna take a shot, and I'm gonna say I see. As much as I don't want to say this, the Cowboys winning it. I see the Cowboys.
Oh man!
Only reason,
that's a bold prediction.
I'm taking the Tom Brady story. I'm taking the been out for a while, whatever, suspension plays a part of it. So now your team is holding its own, and then when you come back, it's only going to fuel the fire even more, and that's going to build them all the way up. And who knows? They might even play. Because Cowboys are NFC, right?
NFC,
okay, so I was making sure. So they might even come up to play against the Patriots or even the Steelers. Like you said, they're going to probably, I do agree with them seeing each other in the AFC. So that's my prediction. I'm going with the Cowboys.
I was really hoping I got to see Dallas and New England last year, but Aaron Rodgers, I just feel like right now if they were to play Aaron Rodgers again, I don't think they're going to get past him. Aaron Rodgers is up and down the playoffs a lot, but I still think they'll get back to play New England. They very well could beat the Patriots, but I still give New England the nod over it. But I think New England wins that 6-1 this year.
All right. Hey, guys, we got a lot of season coming up for NFL, and we plan to be with you every step of the way to give you more of Sports Moods. That's 2 Moodies.
1 duty.
Sports. And we out.
I like that, man. I thought we did good.